It can be difficult to achieve a luscious carpet of aquarium plants, especially in these Walstad style aquariums that are low tech, that usually don't have high-end lights or CO2. If you're looking for an easy carpeting aquarium plant, look no further than Dwarf Sagittaria. In naturalistic, self-sufficient aquariums, choosing the correct type of plants is very important for the longevity of your tank. I believe that Dwarf Sagittaria is particularly suitable for these low-light environments. This video will explain the characteristics of Dwarf Sagittaria and why it's a pretty good choice when choosing a carpeting plant for a low-tech aquarium. So many aquarium plants that create this carpeting effect that kind of makes it look like a lawn require very intense light. Having intense light means that the plant is going to say that, okay, I have enough light for me to photosynthesize, let me grow horizontally, spread across the floor to create this carpet so I can absorb more light. Species like Monte Carlo, this is very, very true. It requires high intensity lighting and CO2 in your aquarium to achieve this lush carpeting effect. However, Dwarf Sagittaria does not. I use Dwarf Sagittaria in all of my tanks, and I created this luscious carpet effect just with this one plant, and I'm running basic LED lights that I got from Amazon and no CO2, but I'm still able to achieve this compact growth. The first reason is in Walstad style tanks, I have a whole base layer of potting soil. This is going to provide enough nutrients to the Dwarf Sagittaria to fuel its growth. Additionally, even though I'm working with pretty basic LED lights on a light bar, Dwarf Sagittaria has a unique ability to vary the length of each leaf, elongating it when it needs to capture more light in low light areas. And this is true for many plants, but I feel like I notice it the most with Dwarf Sagittaria in my Walstad style low-tech aquarium. I also want to point out how Dwarf Sagittaria propagates itself. It creates runners or daughter plants that stem from the previous plant. Each plant will propagate itself by sending out a shoot, and along this shoot, roots will appear and a new leaf will form, creating a new plant. And it sends out runners in this fashion, creating a chain of new plants, essentially making clones of itself. I also wanted to point out this one thing where Dwarf Sagittaria creates a beautiful carpet that's basically its own small microhabitat. Within all of the leaves is this base layer of water that all kinds of shrimps and snails and scuds, different detritivores can live and be protected from all of the fish above it. You can see my angelfish kind of have a hard time navigating through each blade of the grass, as I like to call it. And underneath the Dwarf Sagittaria, I have a lot of snails and even shrimp that are able to still scavenge for food without causing too much attention to themselves. Dwarf Sagittaria's dense yet flexible leaf structure can create refuge for invertebrates and even small fish. And it's not to say that Dwarf Sagittaria is the only plant that will work for your low-tech Walstad style aquarium. I know many people have great success with the plants such as dwarf hairgrass, micro swords, Monte Carlo. I personally have not had that much success with them. I feel like plants like that really require high levels of lighting and even CO2 systems inside of the aquarium, and I think they also respond well to trimming the tops of them, which promotes more lateral growth rather than vertical growth. However, with Dwarf Sagittaria, I've never trimmed them once. I don't really experience any dieback with this. I don't have to trim it. I never take plants and have to propagate into areas that the plant is not reaching. And I have Dwarf Sagittaria in places that I've never even put them there before. It just sent runners underneath my rocks or around my rocks and driftwood. And now I have Dwarf Sagittaria behind my tank, up against the back glass, behind my hardscaping, and it just stays alive. I also think Dwarf Sagittaria works well in low-tech aquariums that do not have a soil dirt layer. For instance, in my 20-gallon aquarium, I have only gravel with no soil layer, and I'm still able to grow Dwarf Sagittaria just with root tabs. And I don't even root tab that often. Like, I root tab maybe once or twice a year. I kind of rely on just the decomposition of organic matter, like fish waste, that makes its way deep into the substrate over time to fertilize my plants. So even if your tank is already established and you didn't start with the Walstad method and having a base layer of dirt, I still think you can get a luscious carpet with root tabs and Dwarf Sagittaria alone. It may just take some more time. Now, I will say you will get this results with other types of carpeting plants. Some people really love dwarf hairgrass, and also a lot of people, when they want this carpeting effect, they want their plants to stay small and short, very close to the substrate. Dwarf Sagittaria does have the ability to grow a little bit longer, about 3-4 inches in low light area. So if you want something short, I think maybe dwarf hairgrass may be the better choice for you. However, I do think Dwarf Sagittaria is the simplest and easiest choice for low-tech aquariums. Let me know what your favorite carpeting aquarium plant is down below in the comments. Also, feel free to subscribe to my channel and leave a like on this video because it really helps make my content reach other fish keepers. Thank you so much for watching my 6th YouTube video, and I will see you guys in the next one.